Welcome back to the deep dive, where we take this week's high-level release radar and really break it down. In the future, we're hoping to have these deep dives out on the same day as the release radar, but we're still kind of catching our breath a little bit after Level Up. Speaking of Level Up, how are you feeling after all that?
Definitely still riding that level up high. Though I have to admit, all the hand shapes almost did be in.
Yeah.
You know, like remember Ryan almost got sick? It's a testament to the power of hand washing.
It really is. But let's jump into the releases. It's a little bit of a lighter week this week,
Hmm.
which is actually perfect for a deep dive.
Yeah.
We can really explore kind of the nuances of some of these updates, even the ones that maybe seem small on the surface.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes the most impactful changes are those subtle refinements. Like the blog update this week, you can now choose specific chat widgets for different blogs on your site.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So instead
Yeah.
of a one-size-fits-all approach to chat, you can tailor the experience.
Exactly. Imagine you have a blog that's focused on attracting new leads. You might want a chat widget that's very sales oriented, popping up with a special offer or something like that. But on a blog that's more for customer support, you would want a different widget that's focused on answering questions and resolving issues.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's all about being strategic with your communication, meeting your audience right where they are in their journey. Speaking of being strategic, the social planner updates this week, I mean, those are pretty huge.
Huge is an understatement. Social Planner now integrates with high-level communities. And this is way more than just another scheduling tool. This is about owning your audience and building deeper connections.
So you're saying instead of posting on Facebook or Instagram,
Mm.
where you're competing with all this noise and algorithms,
Yeah.
you can nurture your community in a dedicated space.
Exactly. No distractions, no algorithms, just you and your audience connecting on your terms.
Mhm.
And the control you have is incredible. You can even choose which user profile within the community the post comes from, adding a personal touch.
That's really clever. Yeah. Feels like High Level is giving businesses the keys to like create these thriving online ecosystems. Okay, what else stood out to you from this week's releases?
Something that I think is going to be a game changer, particularly for anyone focused on reputation management. AI-powered review summaries.
Oh, so we're talking about those helpful summaries you see on Amazon,
Yeah.
where you can quickly get the gist of customer feedback without having to read through tons of individual reviews.
That's the idea. This feature automatically summarizes your reviews, giving you instant insights into customer sentiment. And the best part is, it's automatically enabled for new widgets. And for those of you with older widgets, you can simply turn it on in the settings.
I know a lot of our listeners are really interested in voice AI, but have been waiting for more affordable options. Any news on that front?
You are in luck. High Level just announced pay-as-you-go pricing for voice AI. And the rate is incredibly competitive, just 13 cents per minute.
Wow, that is significantly cheaper than a lot of the other options out there.
It is, and it opens up a lot of possibilities. Listeners could even explore reselling voice AI services at a markup. But even if you're just using it for your own business, this makes voice AI much more accessible.
It feels like High Level is constantly pushing the envelope, making really powerful technology available to everyone. What about updates to listings? Anything interesting there?
They've streamlined the process of updating your social media profiles. You can now do it directly from High Level, saving you time and hassle. It's all about convenience, making things easier for business owners.
That's a win in my book. And it ties into the bigger picture of listings becoming a major revenue generator for a lot of high-level users.
Absolutely. We're seeing more and more success stories from people who are leveraging listings to attract new clients and grow their businesses.
Okay, so we've covered blog chat, social planner integration, AI review summaries, and more affordable voice AI. What else is in this week's release radar?
There's an update to Domain Connect that checks for conflicting records. Now, I know that might sound technical, but essentially it just means High Level is doing the behind-the-scenes work to ensure that your domain is properly connected and configured. You don't need to understand the nitty-gritty details, but you can rest assured that things are running smoothly.
I appreciate that. Sometimes those technical updates can feel a bit overwhelming, but knowing that High Level is taking care of things is reassuring. Now, this next update is one I'm particularly excited about. Major improvements to gamification in communities.
This is huge. High Level has introduced workflow triggers and actions for gamification points, which opens up a whole new world of possibilities for community engagement.
Okay, break this down for me. What exactly do you mean by triggers and actions in this context?
Imagine this. Someone levels up in your community. That level up becomes a trigger. Now you can set up an action that automatically awards them points for reaching that new level. Or maybe someone completes a course, submits a form, or even just logs in regularly. All of these can be triggers.
And the actions could be anything from awarding those points
Yeah.
to sending them an email or even offering them a discount.
Exactly. The possibilities are endless. You can use this to encourage specific behaviors, reward engagement, and really gamify the entire community experience.
I can see this being incredibly powerful for motivating members and keeping them coming back for more. What about call recordings? Were there any updates in that area?
Yes, call recordings now have their own billing line item. Many users have been requesting this for better transparency and easier accounting.
And I know some people have been concerned about storage costs, but they also mentioned that the ability to delete recordings to free up space is coming soon.
That's right. So you'll have more control over your storage and associated costs. But there were also some behind-the-scenes updates related to site verification and API improvements.
While those might not be the most exciting things to talk about, they are important for a smooth and secure user experience. It's like the foundation of a house. You might not see it, but it's essential for everything built on top of it.
Exactly. These updates are all about making High Level more reliable, more efficient, and more secure for everyone.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground already, and I know we have even more to discuss. But before we move on to the encore releases, let's take a quick recap.
We talked about how High Level is giving businesses more control over their chat experience with the blog update, and how the social planner integration empowers you to own your audience and nurture deeper connections in dedicated online communities. We also discussed the exciting new AI review summaries, which provide instant insights into customer sentiment, and the incredibly affordable pay-as-you-go pricing for voice AI.
We also touched on the streamlined process for updating social media profiles through liftings, the improved Domain Connect feature, and the game-changing workflow, triggers, and actions for gamification in communities. And of course, we can't forget about the updates to call recordings and those essential behind-the-scenes improvements.
It's clear that even in a lighter week, High Level is continuing to innovate and deliver valuable features for businesses of all sizes.
Yeah, it really is impressive to see how High Level just keeps refining the platform.
Yeah.
Even while introducing these powerful new features, there's this clear focus on just making things easier and more effective for users.
Yeah, and speaking of making things effective, one of the big themes that I just kept hearing over and over again at LevelUp was the importance of community. It's like everyone is realizing that connection is the key to standing out in today's, digital world.
Absolutely. It's not enough to just have a great product or service anymore. You need to cultivate a loyal audience.
Yeah.
And what better way to do that than by building a thriving online community?
And it feels like High Level is really providing the tools to do that. We see it with the social planner integration, the gamification updates, this focus on making those human connections.
Exactly. These tools empower businesses to create spaces where their customers can interact not just with the brand, but with each other. It's about fostering a sense of belonging, a shared experience.
Yeah.
So for our listeners who are hearing this and thinking, okay, great, but how do I actually build that kind of community? Where do they even start?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
I think the first step is to really, truly understand your audience. What are their needs, their interests, their pain points? Once you know who you're serving, you can start creating content and experiences that resonate with them.
So it's not just about throwing up a Facebook group
No.
and hoping people will magically connect. It's about being intentional and strategic.
Exactly. And remember, it's a process. It takes time and consistent effort to build trust and genuine connection, but the payoff is huge. A thriving community becomes an extension of your brand, amplifying your message and creating passionate advocates.
Okay, so we've talked about the importance of community and how High Level is really providing the tools to do that. But let's get into the specifics of gamification, because this is where I think things can get really fun.
Gamification is such a powerful tool for boosting engagement and encouraging specific actions. And with the new workflow, triggers, and actions, you can get incredibly creative.
Okay, give us some examples. How are businesses actually using this?
One common approach is to reward desired behaviors. So you could award points for completing a course, attending a webinar, or referring a friend. Think about the actions that are valuable to your business and structure your points system around those.
It's like turning those everyday interactions into a game. And then, of course, you need to have appealing rewards to keep people motivated.
Right. Think about what your audience truly values. It could be discounts, exclusive content, early access to new features, or even just recognition and bragging rights within the community.
Yeah, I've even seen communities where the top point earners get featured on the company's website or social media. That kind of social proof can be really powerful.
Absolutely. And the beauty of gamification is it adds this element of fun and friendly competition. It's
Yeah.
no longer just about consuming content. It's about actively participating and striving to achieve something.
Hmm. I'm curious, have you seen any particularly creative examples of gamification out there?
One that comes to mind is a company that created a community quest. Members had to complete a series of challenges, like watching videos, engaging in discussions, and sharing content to unlock exclusive rewards. It was incredibly successful in driving engagement and creating a sense of excitement.
It sounds amazing. It's like a scavenger hunt that keeps people coming back for more.
Exactly. Another company used gamification to crowdsource product feedback. They awarded points for submitting bug reports, suggesting new features, and participating in user testing. It was a brilliant way to involve their community in the development process.
It's so smart. So we're seeing how gamification isn't just about fun and games. It can be a really powerful tool for achieving real business goals.
Exactly. And it all ties back to that core principle of community building. When you make people feel valued and invested, they become your biggest advocates.
So we've explored the power of community,
Mm-hmm.
the magic of gamification, all these amazing high-level updates. As we move into the final part of our deep dive, what are some overarching themes that stand out to you?
One that's undeniable is the growing role of AI. We saw it with the AI review summaries, and we know there's even more coming down the pipeline.
It's like AI is becoming this invisible force that's enhancing every aspect of the platform, making things smarter, more efficient.
Exactly. And it's not just about automation. AI is empowering businesses to personalize experiences, deliver better customer service, and make data-driven decisions.
It's an incredibly exciting time to be a high-level user. There's this constant innovation, a commitment to community building, and a clear vision for the future.
I couldn't agree more. And as we move into part 3, let's consider how all of these pieces fit together. What does this evolution of high level mean for the future of business?
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from those seemingly small but impactful feature refinements to the exciting world of AI and the power of community. It feels like High Level is really building something special.
I think you're right. They're creating more than just a software platform. It's an ecosystem designed to empower businesses to thrive in this new era of connected commerce.
And that brings us to those encore releases. These are the features that are still in development. But give us a glimpse into what's coming next. First up, the SaaS configurator is getting a major makeover.
This is big news for anyone who's building or thinking about building a SaaS product. They've completely revamped the user interface, making it much more intuitive and user-friendly.
So it's going to be easier for SaaS entrepreneurs to set up their plans, manage their subscriptions, and really kind of get their businesses off the ground.
Exactly. They've streamlined the whole process, making it less intimidating and more accessible for everyone. And for those who have used the SaaS configurator in the past and maybe found it a bit clunky, this is a welcome change.
Now, this next encore release is one that I'm personally excited about. The course theme customizer is getting a complete overhaul.
Yes, this is something that a lot of course creators have been asking for. The old UI could be a bit frustrating to work with, but the new version is like a night and day difference.
So we're talking about a much more intuitive editing experience, better layout options, more flexibility to really design courses that reflect your brand and style.
That's it. They've really focused on making the customization process as smooth and enjoyable as possible. This is going to be a game changer for anyone creating online courses on High Level.
It's clear that High Level is listening to its users and constantly striving to improve, even in a lighter week like this. We're seeing refinements, innovations, and a glimpse into the future.
It's all about empowering businesses to connect with their audience, build those lasting relationships, and ultimately achieve their goals.
And speaking of achieving goals, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder. We've talked about the importance of community, the power of gamification, and how High Level is really providing the tools to do all of this. But here's the challenge. How can you as a listener take this information and create something truly unique and engaging for your own audience?
That's a great question. Don't just follow the playbook, write your own. Experiment, innovate, and use these tools to build something special.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the features or the technology. It's about how you use those things to make genuine connections and create a meaningful impact.
So think big, be creative, and let High Level be your partner in that journey.
And with that, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us as we explore the latest high-level releases and what they mean for the future of your business.
Until next time, keep innovating, keep connecting, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.